Okay, welcome back to what will hopefully be the final part of my blog tutorial. In this video we are going to, hopefully, code the blog read page and the blog post page. Because we have all the back-end functions done already, this should fit into one video. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is actually link the title. If you remember from the demonstration video, the title, when you clicked on it, it showed the full post. So we need to link the blog title to the blog read page. So we just do that using an anchor tag, ahref equals something, which is going to be blog read.php, and PID equals the post ID, which we have, luckily. Not luckily, we planned for this. PHP echo post ID, like so. Just to quickly close off this A tag here, and we should be ready to just quickly test that. So now we have a link, and it says it links to blog read.php and PID equals 1. So what this page is going to do is output the full blog post and have this comment form at the bottom. If I just go to the blog read page, blog read page, like so, you see we have the HTML form already. I left this in. We're going to wrap a little bit of PHP logic around it, because we need to first check if the post ID has been specified and if the post ID is valid. And we're going to do that using the valid PID function that we defined previously. So the checks we need to perform is set get PID or valid PID. And if either of these conditions are met, we want to just show a message which is going to be invalid post ID. You don't want to give the user too much information, because they can get sort of useful information from that. Actually, we want to check these against false. We want to check if this is not set, which is what equals false means, and if this is not valid, or if this is not valid, show this message. So that should be equals false. Sorry about that. Okay, so else we want to do something else, which will be show the post. So if either of these comes out as true, so if that is false, if this function returns false, meaning the post isn't in the database, or if the post isn't given, then we just show a message. The reason we check is set first is because this function is more efficient than this one. This one will do a MySQL query, and if PHP finds this to be false, it will just immediately execute this block. It won't actually do this check. So that's why we do that one first. So what we want to do in the else block is get the post data. Actually, I've put this brace in the wrong place. I want to only show the comment form, obviously, if the post is valid. So we're going to do that by wrapping it inside this if statement. Just indent it. See, that makes more sense now. Yeah, we're checking if the post is valid. If it's not, show this message. Else, display the post, which we're going to do here, and then add show the form. Okay, so that's that done. What we want to do inside this part of the code is get the post data using the get post function we defined, and we're going to give it the post ID, like so. And then we want to close this off and output some HTML. That HTML is going to be the title in a h2 tag, similarly to we had on the listing page. In fact, it's exactly the same as we had on the listing page. So the title will go here, then some information in a h4 tag, and then a horizontal rule and some more information, the actual post, in a paragraph tag, followed by another horizontal rule. Okay, so what we need to output here is a PHP variable, and we're going to echo post title, because that is where we want the title to go. And in this section we want to do something very similar to we had in the previous page, the blog list. So we are going to do by and then the username, and then we're going to say on and then the date, and then we're going to display in brackets some information on the comments, just the number of comments this time, because the last comment date can be got just from the list of comments. So we are going to display another PHP thing here and just comments like so. So this first one is the name, which was post user, I think, yeah. And then the date, which was post date. See, these are coming from this function that we had return this array, this data. And this final one is slightly different because we don't actually have the number of comments. We didn't get that from MySQL. All we have is the array of comments themselves. So we're just going to count this array using the count function. Count. This function returns the number of keys, number of elements in an array. Number of values in an array, sorry. Okay, so we're going to count the post comments array, like so. If I just reload our page, oh my god. Okay, this is a problem. What this is telling us is that we have an SQL syntax error in our posts file. So we're going to go to the posts file, scroll down to the get post function, and I can't immediately spot what I've done. No, can't see it right away. So what we're going to do is add the MySQL error function after we execute the query. And now when we reload our page, MySQL tells us what's wrong, basically. Yeah, I think I've missed a quote out. Basically, it tells you have a syntax error. You can ignore this bit, and this it tells you near the place where the syntax error has occurred. So it's usually before this that it outputs. Like this I've highlighted is a section from our query. So it's usually the character before this that has caused the problem. Sometimes it could be afterwards, but most of the time it's before. So I'm going to go back to our thing, query, and look at the post date. Yep, you see, there we go. We've missed a quote out after user. Now if I reload our page, you see we don't get any errors. We also don't get the output, which is strange. Why has that happened? Well, we'll find out in a moment. This MySQL error function only outputs only returns a value if there's been an error. Like you see, when I just reloaded the page, there were no errors. So yeah, that's why we don't get any output from that now. So why have we not got a... Oh, I haven't output it yet. Duh, sorry. Okay, back to our blog read page. That small error is fixed. We need to actually output the body of the post here, which is the post body array key. Just reload that. You see now we get the body, the post, the actual blog entry. One thing we haven't done yet is added the comments, which are going to come after this second line and before the comment box. So this should be fairly straightforward. We just need to loop over again with PHP. So we're going to open a new PHP block, just tidy this up a little bit. We're going to use a for each loop to loop over the comments array. So we're going to do for each post comments as comment, and then here we're going to close this off again, open a new PHP tag, and in here we're going to have some HTML, which is going to be the sort of format of the comment display. So we're going to have a h4 tag with the title, who the comment is by and when it was posted, and then we're going to have a paragraph tag with the body, and then another horizontal rule just to sort of indicate the end of that comment. So in here we're going to have with PHP echo post comment. No, that's completely wrong. Comment array. Now we're in the comment array. This was the array we returned, and for each of these, each value of this, we're setting this variable equal to the value and using it in here. But this variable, each key of each value of this array was also an array, so that's why we have this. So the user. So I should just specify that we want by that user. Similar syntax to the blog, the entry, the post, sort of display information. I'm going to say when it was the time, the date, which is PHP echo comment date. That's going to be it for this part. Well, the information on the comment. We're just going to add the body here. Echo comment body. Now if I just quickly reload this, you see we get I remember I entered into the database earlier a test comment, and we get one comment, which is good, which is correct. We get who it was by, we get the date it was posted, and we get the text. So that is pretty much it for this part, the displaying of the data. What we need to do now is code this comment form processing. For example, if I just type in something in here, Simon says, I also am a test comment. Just hit post. See, nothing happens, the page just reloads. So what we want to do is process this form, and we're going to do that in this part here, before any output. If you're doing a large processing sort of thing, task, it sort of makes sense to have a separate file, but because this is so simple and because we added we made those functions, we're just going to do it at the top of this file and it won't cause any major problems. So what we're going to do is check if the form has been submitted using the isSet function. If it has, we're going to do something. So we need to check for the post ID, which was in the get variable, because we just submitted the form to the current URL, which, if you remember or noticed, had the get variable, the post ID. So that is that, and we're also going to check for the post variable user and the post variable body, because we called the input box for the username, we gave it the name user, and we gave the text area the name body. So if we have the data, we're going to use the add comment function, and we're going to remember the parameters we specified were the post ID and then the user and then the body. So we're going to use get PID post body, no, post user, then post body, like so. And what we want to do is, instead of just calling this function like this, we want to check if it succeeds. Because remember, if they specified a post that didn't exist or was incorrect in some way, the valid PID function will return false, causing the add comment function to also return false. So we're going to check this function, just see if it returns true, because remember it returned true or false if it succeeded or failed. The reason I did specify, actually I should just explain a little bit further, not just letting it return null, is because if null wouldn't execute, so it would always get the failed condition. So we're going to do something if it succeeds and something else if it fails, and then we're just going to kill the script here because we don't want to show all this again. And what we're going to do if it succeeds is redirect to the current page using the header function. I'm just going to send the location header, which is going to be blog read post ID equals the post ID, which was get PID, like so. And if the post fails, if it can't be submitted, we're just going to redirect the user back to the index page using the header function again, sending a location header. Oh my god. I'm just going to send them back to the index page, blog list.php, The reason we kill the script after that, after sending a header, is that although the browser is redirected, PHP will still process all of this code, do the queries and stuff. So just to keep it as efficient as possible, we do this. And I've just realised I've gone massively over 15 minutes, so I'm going to stop this really quickly, and hopefully YouTube won't mind an extra 20 seconds.